What's good, family? It's your boy Silverback Cyclist. I'm here giving you guys a regular person to review on the Garmin Edge 540. I found it to be a good device, but let's dig into why that is. I have owned the 510, the 520 Plus, and the 530, and now the 540. The 540, I've found right off the bat that is slightly larger. You'll hear guys say that they're almost identical in size, but if you look at it there right off the top, you can see it is slightly larger than the 530. The 530, to me, the reason why I like the 540 is because of the fact that it looks better, runs cleaner. And what I mean by that is that there's a couple of features that are on both devices, but the 540 just does a better job handling those features. The 540 and the 530 both do the navigation piece. And the navigation piece is, you put in your course and you strike out and you go for a ride. However, the 540 does a better job at recalculating where you're going. So if you should happen to miss your turn, the 540 begins to look, it seems almost immediately, to recalculate your course to get you either back on the course or to a different direction to get to where the course is. Whereas the 530, seemingly to me, spent a lot more time telling you to turn around here, turn around there. And that works and everything, but let's say you already kind of knew the route and you didn't want to take a particular road, you want to take a different road and catch it elsewhere. The 540 does a better job of figuring that out, whereas the 530 seems to just keep searching for the route, and if you just happen to stumble upon it, it says, oh, okay, you're back on your route. Another piece that I like about both of these devices is the nutrition guide. If you're choosing to ride and you one of the people that don't really keep up with how long you've been riding and when you need to eat and when you need to drink, both devices do a really good job of notifying you of that, whereas I think the 540 does a better job of educating you of when you should drink, when you should eat, based on more metrics. If you're a person like me that uses a lot of the other devices that come with it, such as the heart monitor, the power pedals and things of that nature, you'll find that the 540 does a better job of compiling all the information to help you with your ride. And what I mean by that is that in a lot of the Forerunner watches, they have what they call a pace predictor. Well, the 540 Edge has kind of taken some of that information and done the same thing based on your fitness and whatnot, and it looks at these numbers, and if you put together a route and load it into your Garmin and you want to finish the route within a certain time frame, or if you want to finish the route feeling pretty good about it from a health standpoint, it would help you to determine what your power should be throughout the ride, and or keeping your heart rate in a certain zone throughout the ride so that you're not exhausted when you finish the ride, but you're still kind of fresh when you finish the ride. I think that's a really, really cool feature. I have yet to test it yet, but I'm looking forward to testing it on a ride that I have coming up in August. Speaking of that, the Garmin also has added it's not added, it's always been there for the Forerunner, but it's now there for the Garmin Edge 540, that it can help you prepare for your next big event. So if you create a plan on the Garmin, the website, it will help you prepare that plan and cater it to whatever your big ride is that's coming up. And if you stick to the plan, which we will see in a few weeks how well it works, does supposed to do a pretty good job of telling you how well you will perform on that day, and then on that day assist you with how you're performing on that day. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. Then you have the Climb Pro Assist, I believe it's called. I'm working from memory here. If you're a hill climber or a person that doesn't like climbing hills, you'll find this tool very useful. If you plan out your route, it will, alert you as you're coming to the hill, as well as how many hills are on said route. The Garmin 530 did this, but it only did this if you had the route loaded into the device. Whereas the 540, if you're free riding, as I like to call it, it will alert you as you're coming to a hill. And the cool part about that is that it gives you the gradient of that hill. It's in real time. It tracks where you're at on the hill, how much more of the hill you have to go, whether or not you've reached the steepest part of the hill, once you've peaked that part of the hill, how much more you have left to go. I've tested this out, and I like the way this feature operates. So that's my thoughts on the Climb Pro Assist. What else do we have here? Overall, let me put it like this. If I was going to buy a device and I didn't already have a bike computer, I would strongly consider getting the Edge 540. But there's a caveat to that. If you're not going to use the additional tools that play with this Edge 540, then you won't get the full benefit from it. And what I mean by that is that, the power pedals, the heart rate monitor, tracking your sleep and things of that nature. Whereas the 530 uses those metrics, but it doesn't dig into the nuts and bolts of it like the 540 does. The 530 is still an excellent bike computer, and I still would recommend it if you didn't have a bike computer, or if you just wasn't looking to spend that extra money. And I believe, if I'm correct, the price is currently dropped for the 530 to basically try to get people to buy what's left of that stock before they consider the 540. And I could be wrong here, but I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. The features I speak of are available across the board in the 40 platform, the 540, the 840, and the 1040. The difference between the 540, 840, and 1040 is the 840 is a touch screen, and there's also a solar option out there as well. I personally didn't opt for the touch screen because once I start my ride, I don't ever touch my Garmin again unless we're changing the route or something like that. There's no reason for me to touch the screen. Another feature I found really useful is if you're typing in the address into the Garmin Edge, and this is the 540 I'm speaking of here, you can actually just take out your phone and through the Garmin Connect type in whatever it is you're trying to type, as opposed to doing the scroll through feature with the lettering and whatnot. You can actually just pull out your phone and enter those features. I think it's a good investment. I don't think everybody needs it. I don't think anybody needs to run out and buy it. But if you're in the market for a bike computer and you really like to look at the numbers to improve your fitness, the Garmin Edge 540 is an excellent way to go. The 530 is a good way to go. Just it really depends on what you're trying to do. Other than that, man, that's my 2 cents on it. I love my 540. I wouldn't trade it in at this point, to be honest with you. I think it's an excellent bike computer.